that's it. We just want to win for our team.
My goodness!
Yeah, we're just as good as the men, or better.
It's a huge point for the Bay Area.
Good chance that's your #1 highlight of the week.
Is there a camera nearby, or? Where are we?
Alrighty, welcome to the final day of Major League Table Tennis, the first ever professional American Table Tennis League. We're coming to you live from Gentile Arena, right here on Loyola's campus in Chicago, Illinois, USA. Are you guys ready for the action? Alrighty, then without any further ado, let's bring in our officials, Jovana Knežević and Linda Leaf. Wow, Team Jovana in the crowd, I like it. And now we will bring in a team. They were #1 in the West Division. They fought hard yesterday in the semifinals, and they'll be battling for third now with some of the great hopes of the United States. Put your hands together for the Bay Area Blasters! Led by Coach Maggie Tien, Jinbao Ma, Taowen Zhang, El Sayed Lashin, Sonura Silva, Lily Zhang, and Alexi Duan. And on the other side of the table, they topped the food chain throughout the season this year and were beaten yesterday, but are still owners of 2 MVPs and one of the strongest teams in the league. A warm welcome for the Carolina Gold Rush! Led by Coach Alex Young, Enzo Angles, Roman Lorenz, Cobra Kai Zhang, Bastien Dupont, Hong Lin, and Jeremy Hazin. So, now that all the Warriors are here, let's shake some hands and slap some skins and let the games begin.
We will make history today on the campus of Loyola University, Chicago. The first season of Major League Table Tennis concludes with 2 team battles, the third place match between the Bay Area Blasters and the Carolina Gold Rush. And then later today, it'll be the Texas Smash and the Princeton Revolution battling for all the glory and $50,000 in prize money. The prestige obviously means even more. Good afternoon and welcome inside Gentile Arena. Evan Lepler alongside the Hall of Famer Sean O'Neill. Thanks for joining us. This is the match that no one dreams of being in, Sean, and yet there is money on the line, there is pride on the line. It'd be nice to end your season with a win, and these are 2 teams that came here with different ambitions, but they have to deal with the circumstances after a disappointing Saturday.
Yeah, I think from a team perspective, you want to leave this season on a high note. You want to do it for your teammates, and actually a lot of cash involved.
No question about it. Carolina and the Bay Area Blasters competed in the very first match at the interdivisional weekend. Carolina won that by a 16-5 score, but a little bit different flavor to today's match. And look, everybody just trying to make amends for yesterday, where for both teams it was ultimately disappointing, not what they wanted to do.
Well, I'm really interested right off the back with Jinbao Ma against Enzo Angles, 2 of the actual big stars of the league, getting a chance to see who will come out. Of course, Enzo was the men's MVP.
They'll play singles against each other. They'll also play doubles with their female partners, Lily Zhang and Hong Lin. We're going to be getting you ready for Texas and Princeton. We've also got an interesting third-place match coming up. The Blasters and the Gold Rush to start a championship Sunday here in Chicago. First serve on the way. There's Eric Owens, the USA Table Tennis Hall of Famer and MLTT head coach of the Chicago Wind. Spectator today as the Wind did not qualify for championship weekend. The third place match begins with Jim Balmain and Enzo Angles, two of the top 6 players in the league according to the MLTT power rankings. Enzo, of course, named MVP of all male players in the lead up to championship weekend. Jim Balmain to serve first on this championship Sunday. And he lands his first punch.
And Jin Bao Ma, forehand-dominated player, is going to look for an opportunity to play as many shots out to Enzo's forehand.
And Carolina and the Bay Area Blasters met in December. Jim Bao Ma played Romain Lorenz, and he swept Romain 3-0. Enzo played Tao En Zhang in that match, and Enzo won 2-1. Enzo wants a new ball. Interesting sound effects off the table. That ball doesn't sound all normal either.
A little bit of a metallic sound.
A little bit more normal there. Obviously, Enzo's had a tremendous season. His effort against Kasahara in the singles yesterday, winning 3 really tight competitive games to just give his team a chance. In the 4th singles spot, he took the table down 8-4, the team perspective, and got him within 1 for the golden game, but it was not enough. 21-14 was the final, but I mean, all through the season, Enzo has made just dazzling shots. The spectacular ones you expect, and then also the spectacular ones that you don't expect. Remember back in October, he made perhaps the shot of the season, his behind the back shot. He wasn't even looking. And we asked Enzo what he remembered most about that behind the back shot. And here's what the talented Frenchman had to say.
What do you remember about the behind the back shot in October that won you a point?
This one was crazy. This behind the back was crazy because it's like I turned my head somehow I put my arm behind, and I feel I touch the ball, and I touch the ball quite well. Then I look.
3.
No way.
I mean,
And I never do that. Like, some people, they used to do that always in the practice and stuff. I never do that. And this time I have no idea why I did that. This is just instant.
3, 5.
What do you remember about that moment, Sean?
I mean, it was just that in the doubles competition, it seems like Carolina is everywhere, and didn't surprise me that Enzo was able to just put one more ball back, whether he's looking at the ball or the opponent. Here you see a great counter looping rally. That's going to favor Jinbao Ma anytime they go off the table, just because Enzo, being a lefty, he's got to cover that backhand side. He's going to be running a lot.
Sean is a 2-time Olympian and a 5-time national champion. Did you ever hit a behind-the-back shot in a game that you still remember to this day?
Couple times, and it's really, you prepare for the forehand, and by mistake, they went to your backhand, and you just throw your hand behind. You make a lot of contacts, but rarely does it go forward and on. But that's why Enzo said that he never does it. If you do it because your feet are slow or that you're guessing the wrong way, it's not so uncommon, just because you've given up hitting the ball the right way. But it's definitely a crowd pleaser when it does land.
Let.
A great placement by Enzo.
6, 5.
A lot of touch, moving the ball around. He wants to stay away from Jinbao Ma's forehand as much as possible.
Big fist pump from Anglaise.
7.
Feels like he's also trying to set the emotional tone for his team here from a competitiveness standpoint.
He really does, and that's been the leadership quality that he's brought to the Gold Rush from match number 1 back in Daytona Beach.
Six, 7.
Said hello to Enzo this morning, and
8,
as you might
6.
expect, he had kind of a begrudging smile on his face. You know, happy to be here, happy to be alive, but obviously this isn't where we want to be. We're going to try to play hard. We're going to try to win. But, you know, in the back of everyone's mind, there's the reality that you didn't do exactly what you wanted to do. Carolina is the best team in the league during the regular season by a pretty sizable margin, in a spot where they're now just battling for 3rd place.
Six, 10.
Game points here for Anglaise and the Gold Rush. Oh. 11-6.
Just tremendous offensive play by Enzo, getting the job done, keeping the forehand attacks going. Excellent spin, speed, and placement.
He's now won 4 straight singles games here at Championship Weekend for Carolina. Well, the Enzo fan club is certainly one of the more high-tech fan clubs in the world of table tennis.
Second game.
3
Gold rush to
separate
serve. 0-0.
tablets, look like iPads.
With
all
one pulsating in
choreographed.
the center.
Yeah, love it. That's nice from Jinbao Ma. You know, in that first game,
0-1.
Sean, I felt kind of the way I felt watching Enzo against Kasahara yesterday. I felt Hiro Kasahara played at an extraordinarily high level, Enzo was just the best and better. And I felt the same way. Jinbao Ma had a lot of really good balls in that first game. Enzo just had all the answers.
He's really owning the positional element of the game. And he's got to protect his wide forehand. As a lefty, Jinbao Ma, it's very easy for him to loop either down the line from his forehand or to step around.
How does Enzo do such a good job fighting fire with fire? In that Jinbao has an attack, and a lot of players would just be blocking it back or be in a backboard trying to keep the ball alive. Enzo is attacking off the attack.
Yeah, I think it's because of his strokes are so compact and his follow-throughs set him to play that next ball. Now, Jinbao Ma, as much as possible, he wants to get his big forehand in. And when he does, he's going to go out wide to the forehand just to create more space. But Enzo is so quick, he holds the table so well, and he can redirect with a loop off the bounce very often. You're not going to see Jinbao Ma back up all that much. Enzo will use more of the court to keep his forehand into play. But Enzo, excellent touch. Very strong on the serve and serve return.
One, 4.
Jinbao Ma with a very nice start here in game 2, getting his offense going.
Enzo Angles gets back within 2 here in game 2, and Enzo started playing this game long ago, but now he loves it as much as ever.
I think since always my education around table tennis and about table tennis was always to have fun, because it's a game. Right? So if you don't play the game, if you don't enjoy it, you should just stop. But by the years, you know, when you make something 1,000 times or 10,000 times, you always need to renew yourself or your inside to keep fire, I feel. And I think I love even more table tennis now than when I was young, because now I work on some different things around me to cultivate this fire.
He's been a great ambassador for the sport, a great leader for his team and this entire league in the first season. Just bringing tremendous consistency in level, attitude, effort, just the whole package.
Yeah, the professionalism has been unmatched. No one wanted to win more for his team yesterday than Enzo, and you could feel it during the golden game as he went out. Of course, only can play 4 points at a time, and there, back even up here in game 2.
Sean, when you were a player and you expected to win at a national championships or US Open or whatever tournament, and you didn't win, how would you respond to that in the days and weeks afterwards, whether it's using it as motivation, whether it's learning from your mistakes, handling the pressure? What are some of the things you remember?
Usually it was just to get remotivated, to get reset, and to try to look at what went wrong.
Blasters.
Obviously, if a player's playing great against you, there's not a lot that you can do, but just kind of suck it up and say, okay, hey, they played well, and you want to get them next time. But so this is the really unique thing with the various coaches, being able to filter out, because we'll often have 3 or 4 different points of view. One or two times he's enough. And you can move for the serve like this.
准备好，然后在下一轮接发球自己想好，咬住啊，加油加油啊 ！Let's go Let's go come on come on。
A little bit of coaching by committee.
Sometimes you get messages during a timeout from like 5 different coaches in 5 different languages.
And if you're from Portland with Christian Lillaros, then he's translating each one of them.
6.
Right. So the international flavor of MLTT has just been such a treat for not only the fans, but the up-and-coming U.S. players to get a chance to play against the best in the world in front of American fans has meant so much to them. And Jinbao Ma just recently won the U.S. Open in December. So playing against one of the top players currently living in the U.S., but also an international tournament winner.
Have you noticed a different demeanor in Jinbao since he won the U.S. Open?
A lot more confident. Doesn't feel like he has to prove himself as much. But I think his start in MLTT was a little shocking. The 3-game format, the golden game. I think it's taken him a while to get really comfortable.
To be clear, he was not the only one that experienced the shock of the format. There are a lot of great players that struggled with this format, and frankly, even after a full season, are still not totally comfortable with the 3 games to 11, the golden game being what it is.
Definitely, I feel that the European-based players adapted quicker. Early on, we heard them mention it's almost like playing 3 singles matches. Just take them 1 game at a time and not think that once you get to 2 games, you've won something, because giving up a sweep instead of a 3-0 to go 2-1, your team almost gets deflated because it's a 2-point swing. So 6-inch toss was not high enough.
And not a warning.
Umpire Linda Leaf said she was clear it wasn't 6 inches. Not required to give a warning if you're clear. And she mentioned and showed that your hand, when it goes up, that doesn't necessarily count for when the ball has left your hand.
8-all here in game 2.
I'm feeling Enzo, you're going to see at least 6 inches of his toss as he performs a high toss serve usually.
I mean, no exaggeration. He tosses at 60 inches sometimes.
6 feet. They said 6 inches. He said 6 feet.
We've asked him about the high ball toss. And he's talked about, having trouble with the light sometimes, or tossing it high because the lights are in a certain spot. And so I don't know how he missed that
9
one.
all.
I mean, what happens is sometimes Jinbao Ma will put so much spin on his first ball that it'll skid or it'll take a little bit of a dip, and Enzo plays with such precision that when he takes a full swing, there's not a lot of margin of error, so you'll see some bad bounces or some missed time shots, but we're at 9-all here in game 2. Now Ma is going to be thinking about his ball toss after being faulted earlier.
Game point here for Jinbao Ma to even this matchup at a game apiece.
Aggressive serve by Jinbao Ma. Enzo steps around, attacks it very effectively, and we have another golden point.
When the Blasters and Gold Rush met in December, there was not a single golden point in the whole match. We get one early here, 10-all, game 2 of the first singles, Anglais serving. Enzo wins the golden point again for the Gold Rush. Smile on the face of the #1 player in the league. Trailing 10-9, he handled the deep serve, and then he flummoxes Jinbao Ma on the golden point. Inside out forehand for the win. Well, there is Christian Lily Rose, the head coach of the Portland Paddlers. Good to see Christian, international man of mystery of table tennis.
0-0.
He speaks what, 30-something different
Something
languages?
like that. It's easier to count the ones he doesn't speak.
It's like it's easier to name the countries he hasn't been to.
0-1.
Or was their head coach.
He's been to like 100 different countries in his table tennis travels. Later today, we'll see Enzo, along with his partner Hong Lin, take on Jinbao Ma and Lily Jiang in the doubles. They've been the top doubles duo in the league all season long. However, they were shown to be human the last month or so of the season. And yesterday, that was 2 big points in doubles that they lost. It's hard to always ask for a sweep, but almost expect them to go 2 out of 3. And if they had won 2 out of 3, then they would have had the lead going into the Golden Game.
And then the order from the coach's perspective.
Yeah,
so
know how important that is. Fantastic start for Enzo.
0-4.
But you think about all the individual stuff he's done this year, leading his team, being the top draft pick, earning MVP. And you ask him what he's most proud about this season, and he doesn't necessarily talk about himself. He talks about one of his teammates, and specifically, he talks about Hong Lin.
The most proud, I would say, for the season is that I could have been able to cheer up for Hong Lin from the very beginning, and she trusted me because she knows when I look at her, like, you know, it's like after suddenly everything good and we won easy. And we were trying always to build the game around her and not to build the game around me. It's also 3 points that we can take, and I think we didn't lose once yet. So I'm very happy about it.
Well, that interview was recorded in the middle of that Lawrenceville, New Jersey weekend. And unfortunately for Enzo and Hong, they have lost since. But still, it's been a remarkable run. And I think if Alex Lang is thinking about next year, he can just pencil Enzo and Hong as the doubles duo, and Carolina's going to be in pretty good shape. Although we do expect the level of play across the league to rise significantly next year.
The number of international players that are almost sorry that they missed season 1, they're jumping in to the draft for season 2, and it's going to just put that much pressure top to bottom.
How would you characterize, I mean, can you put in perspective how you feel the level will change next year? next season starting in September?
Well, I think a number of the number 2 players on their teams will be moved down to number 3 and 4. And by doing that, it really changes the dynamics of the team, as well as the women are slated to be playing mandatory singles.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing, and that's a great point. And I guess that means you can't just pencil Enzo and Hong into the doubles.
Right, no, because you can
they could still play doubles, but Hong, I think, will be mandated if she's in
to play singles.
Right.
And Hong has played golden games. She's been outstanding, and often
9-2.
the coaches, especially Coach Alex, would pair her up against the other female, depending on their style. And she's really delivered in the golden game as well, not just in doubles play.
3-9.
So many times this season, Enzo has squeaked by, winning a golden point or winning a game 11-9, and then just rampaged through the next game, reminding everyone that while one game might be close, he is the superior
3-10.
stylist on the table.
This is a little bit of a clinic here with Jinbao Ma, just from the start. Look at that.
Too good. Enzo Anglais finishes his MLTT season with a 3-0 sweep over Jinbao Ma. Excellent start to this championship Sunday for the Carolina Gold Rush, and we're now joined by the man we've interviewed after more post-match victories than anyone else in the league during the first MLTT season, Enzo Anglais, another 3-0 sweep. Obviously, this was not the match you wanted to play today, yet how satisfying did it feel to get back on the table and take care of business?
No, I'm very happy because I got MVP, but I never played against him and against Kasara. So I admit that if I would have lost yesterday and today, I would have been like a little bit sad because they are also one of the best players. So I'm very glad that I have played against them and mostly to win those two games.
What was the key for you today against Jinbao? What was the tactics that got the job done?
No, keep balance between backhand and forehand, make many changes with my serve, being creative like I'm most of the time.
Is this the first time you've had fans in the audience where they bring out the iPads with "I love Enzo" on it?
That's US. That's US. In Lawrenceville was the same. It was a lot of fun.
And so obviously your season's not over. You got doubles, you got one more golden game, but as you think about from last September to now, this journey in Major League Table Tennis for the first time, when you reflect on that, what stands out the most?
No, it's insane, honestly, when I see the team, all the team around working with the MLTT, you guys making a great job. Our team also made a great job. I'm very proud of my performances. And no, I'm very glad to be part of this adventure with everybody around MLTT.
It's not that there are any players in the league that we dread interviewing, but we particularly enjoy getting a chance to talk to you, taking us inside your thoughts, sharing your perspectives, wearing your heart on your sleeve. So we appreciate that. Thank you, Enzo.
Thank you very
for
much
all
for
season long. We'll
too.
see you in the doubles.
Thank you.
Second singles. Sonora Silva against Bastien Dupont, who makes his debut this weekend. Dupont was not in the lineup yesterday, but he begins for the first point against Sonora.
I think it was a smart move by Carolina to swap out Jeremy Hazin for Sebastian Dupont. I think Silva would have felt much more comfortable against Hazin, who tends to block, give up the table, where Dupont's going to really fight to keep his offense going.
1-2.
There's a lot of pressure on Silva right now. I mean, they're trailing 0-3. If he were to lose 2-1 or by any stretch, if Dupont could sweep, that would right there potentially show us a golden game starting with the greatest amount of points we've ever seen, which in the regular season was 5.
Let's
true. Be interesting. Now, Bastien played in all but one of the regular season weekends. And he was always solid. You know, he very rarely, in fact, he never went out over the course of a couple matches and didn't win at least 2 games. Whether that was taking 2 out of 3 and then getting swept 3 straight, or winning 1 game on back-to-back days. And, you know, on this roster, that was what Carolina needed to complement the superpower of Enzo. And Bastien and Hazin pretty reliably would go out there and get, you know, 1 or 2 games, 2 or 3 over the course of a weekend. You know, Kai Jiang had weekends where he would win 4 or 5 out of 6.
I think early on,
caught the edge.
Kai was exceptionally strong and maybe even a little bit of a surprise, knowing that he was living in Southern California but flying all the way across the country for the East Coast matches.
Do you think yesterday that anything might have been different for Carolina if Bastien was in the lineup playing against Yohan Rebete instead of Jeremy Hazin?
Yeah, I think there was a real strong potential to win at least 1 game, just because I think Dupont and Jeremy and
4-5.
Rebete, they play similar styles, and I don't think he would have had the same service return issues that Jeremy had.
Meanwhile, that's the Carolina perspective.
Whoa.
Sonora Silva
6
deserves to be mentioned more than 8 or 9 or 50 times in the conversation too, because what this kid has done coming from out of nowhere.
Just like that last shot, came out of nowhere.
Undrafted, did not play well at the combine, signed as a free agent for the first weekend, and it turns out he played every weekend all season long, either in the East or the West. Started the year with Princeton, has been with the Bay Area Blasters since October.
5-7.
And has established himself as a mainstay in this league, just 18 years of age, from Sri Lanka.
Playing out of Texas Wesleyan University that just won the National Collegiate Team event. It's a co-ed competition. And just solid forehand play.
5-8.
Silva is so quick, not just with his feet, but also with his hands.
Yesterday was the first loss that Sonora suffered in a while.
8-6.
Dropped 2 out of 3 to Koyo Kanemitsu for Princeton. Let's see. I mean, every point mattered. Both team matches yesterday finished 8-7. So just a 1-point lead heading into the Golden Game.
9-6.
But that 1-point lead matters, and it gives an advantage to the team. You know, I don't know if that was necessarily the intention for Flint Lane, and it would be interesting to see
7-9.
if, you know, because you're behind, so you get to pick first. It's not you get to pick first. It sort of, as the season went on, you have to pick first, and it's not necessarily an advantage to pick first.
Getting to see your opponent's cards, even if it's just 1 card at a time, can stop you from.
You get to pick basically the matchup for 2 of the first 3 matchups, and the other one you can put your best player in. in that 2 spot. And you really kind of dictate in a lot of ways how kooky the order might get.
I think all teams learn very quickly. You've got to figure out who's going to be playing that potential ultimate golden point.
Do you think that should change for next year? And I haven't asked this to Flint Lane. I haven't asked this to you before. But is the team that's ahead at the end of regulation winning the golden game too frequently? Because look, it's 80% for the season. But since January, the team going into the golden game has won almost 90% of the time.
I would think that potentially mixing it up and having the teams both just submit their orders, knowing that they know the score differential, whether it's a 3, 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1.
We'll continue the conversation after this golden point. Silva and DuPont 10-all here in game 1 of the second singles. And DuPont has the serve on golden point. With the left hand, he got the paddle on it, but could not get it on the table. And in one of the longest, most epic golden points of the entire MLTT season, Bastien DuPont prevails 11-10. Can you believe that? How about the hand switch from Silva? Carolina up 4-0.
Walker, tell me about this match. I couldn't agree with you more. Thank you for the analysis. Back to the program. So Walker, what happened in that point? Walk us through it. 100% it was wrong. I could not agree with you more. Anything else from one of your experiences? Coach and El Rio, Puerto Rican national team member. We all saw that on YouTube. You're a famous coach. Anything else you can advise us on that? Walker, you're amazing. Thank you so much. Wow.
Oh, that was an exhilarating start to the second singles match. Sonora Silva nearly pulled off one of the shots of the year here at the end of this golden point off the net ball, Sean.
Having the presence of mind to redirect his energy, jumping back over to the backhand side, changing to a lefty, playing a forehand, almost got it on the table.
More frustration for
0-1.
Silva. After DuPont takes that first
not
point in game
pleased
2.
with the net ball.
One.
One thing about Silva, even though he's just 18, we have seen a mental resiliency and strength from him where he has been able to move past losing one game and then take games 2 and 3 a handful of occasions this year.
I think in the
says something about his maturity.
Right, and the third, fourth spot on a team, just the dependability.
Right. And look, you and I were talking last night, this morning. I think we believe that Princeton has the advantage in the championship game today, largely because of their 3-4. And we don't know for sure. I think we're expecting a change in the 3-4 lineup because DeSantalan played with Koyo yesterday. I think we think, we don't know. We think we might see Yevgen Forshepa playing with Koyo today in the 3-4 in the CD spot.
4-2.
Unlike during the regular season where one player could play all the matches over the weekend, and then you'd sit players out in the championship, play the best team both days.
Right. So for Texas, we don't know if there'll be a swap. Nandan and
4-3.
Naresh and Rebate were the CD players yesterday. Daryl
Sao has an
is
opportunity.
here, and he's played well down the stretch of the season.
He's definitely improved as the season has gone on. He had a very slow start.
Would not be stunned if Jorg made the decision to put Bear on the lineup. However, I would expect to see Nandan and Yoan again.
I think
today.
Rebate is a given, based on his awesome performance yesterday.
So you and I are thinking about the matchups. In the AB slot, it'll be Macbeth and Kasahara for Texas, Jishan Liang and Jinshin Wang. You know, you and I were thinking, both those matchups, whatever they are, feel like 2-1 toss-ups.
Very close.
The oohs and ahs of the crowd here in Chicago.
Silva cannot believe the unlucky bounces that have gone his way. But look at that reflex to be able to get an edge ball back.
That have not gone his way.
6-4.
Service error for
6-5.
DuPont. He smacks himself in the head. That's punishment. Did you do anything like that after a service error?
Try not to.
Maintains the lead with a good serve there.
5-7.
There's a subtle, quiet, but confident intensity to Bastien DuPont in the way he goes about his business.
He would love to add points on the board to help with the prize money distribution. Everyone wants to contribute to the team, although they're not playing for
8.
the MLTT Cup. Making it into the playoffs was no easy feat. They did a great job early on in the season establishing just how strong.
All teams knew that the 4th place team this weekend would earn $10,000. 15,000 for 3rd place, 25K for 2nd place, and
the big
50 grand for the champs. $100,000 prize pool is no small thing for U.S. table tennis.
8-7.
Inaugural season of MLTT. Of course, there were MVP bonuses throughout the season. Every match, every game had some financial stakes riding to it.
8-all.
All here in game 2. Silva trying to get over the hump with a couple serves here.
Let's 8-8.
Well done by Bastien DuPont.
8-9.
And just the intensity on DuPont's face after every point. He's playing the big points so well. Nice deep return on the serve.
How about this? DuPont wins both points on Silva's serve. And consequently, we'll have a couple chances to clinch this singles match on his own paddle.
Then 8.
Silva fights off one game point.
Timeout, Gold Rush.
Timeout, Carolina. Alex Yang will talk with Bastien Dupont to get his mind right for this next serve on game point.
Don't do side spin. Don't
No
do
side spin.
no side spin.
Maybe long?
No, just flat, just flat.
Just flat?
Flat,
A little bit, like middle, a little bit like deeper.
flat, okay, just flat. Hey, no spin.
Okay.
Just flat, low, very low.
But when I take forehand, I have to...
No, if ball high, just kill.
Mais dès que je l'accroche, il peut pas jouer en fait.
Side spin, he flip. No good. Don't let him flip.
Yeah, but his flick is not.
Yeah, but it's okay. But there's a little change, sir. Okay. Try to do it. Wait for him to flip, or if he push, wait for half long.
Yeah, and
if he give you short, push deep, then start count here. Okay. Come on.
Sean, why do you think Alex Yang is so adamant no spin on the serve?
He wants to make sure he's not putting sides, because when Sonora flips, especially with his backhand, it's a little bit unpredictable of what type of spin is going to stay on the ball. With a no spin, he can make a much easier read. He gave him the different
10,
scenarios. If
9,
it's a drop shot,
Gold
cut
Rush.
it deep, get into a counter looping rally. If it's long, make that first heavy spin. But he wants Dupont to make the first attack if possible.
Worked like a charm, didn't it? Bastien
11-9,
Dupont
second
claims
game.
the first 2 games against Sonora Silva. Both tight, both down to the wire, both to the gold rush.
I know.
That was a cool moment at the end of that last game where Bastien Dupont embraced the strategy that Alex Yang suggested
Yeah. Time.
and pointed directly to his head coach afterwards, sort of
Third game.
nodding
Gold Rush to serve.
respectfully, and you saw
0-0.
Alex Yang reaction popping right up. That was a cool chemistry moment there for this team.
It's often not easy to
0-1.
see how you're doing things, and having that third-person perspective that the coach has can see whether it's serve return angles, whether it's where you should attack to. But Coach Alex was very sure of himself that he did not want Sebastian to have to deal with a ball he wasn't sure of the exact spin of. Sebastian got the job done.
Oh my goodness. Sonora Silva able to
1,
stay calm.
2.
He's a better man than me.
3-1.
Evan, these points right here, if Dupont just continues to expand on this lead, it's really going to put the Blasters in a precarious situation to where they might be starting the golden game at such a disadvantage.
4,
Yesterday,
1.
the 1-point differential made a huge impact on the outcome with the coach's order.
2-4.
Looked like one of Silva's early forehands was pure frustration as he tried to whip it down the line. DuPont
Nice.
doing a nice 1-2 combination.
2-5.
Getting the first spin, then off of the blocks, really finding the open court. Really playing within himself nicely.
Whoa.
6-2.
A little bit of a mental checkout right there.
Yeah. Seen that on a few swings in this third game. I feel like the Bay Area Blasters are going to really need Lily Jong and Elsaya Lachine in particular to stay locked in and help bring the Blasters back into this match, because otherwise it could get ugly pretty quick.
Really can.
Especially with how well Kai Jong played yesterday in singles. Kai swept Nandan Narek 3 straight games, 4-10 and 7. I feel like if we had said before the match yesterday, all right, Carolina, you're going to get guaranteed 3 points from Kai Jong in second singles, you feel pretty comfortable that you'll make the finals? They'd say, oh, absolutely. And that's sports sometimes. That's why they're so fantastic and unpredictable, and why we all watch.
9-4.
Everyone's an expert when it's on paper, but
I don't think you would have predicted Bastien DuPont winning 3 straight games over Sonora Silva here.
Absolutely not.
That's what it looks like it's going to be. Playing to the crowd right now. Silva somehow finds a way back in that point to win it.
And that was almost after the net return.
5-9.
Which Sonora's had ample opportunity to do in this match. Throwing in an offensive style chop. Just stayed up at the table and cut down on the ball.
5-10.
That'll do it. Bastien
11-5,
DuPont
3-0 gold rush.
finishes off with Rio sweep over Sonora Silva, and in this third place match here at the first ever MLTT Championship weekend, the Carolina Gold Rush with back-to-back sweeps leading the Bay Area Blasters 6-0. Well, it's a 6-0 lead for the Carolina Gold Rush, and Bastien DuPont delivers in the second singles spot for his team. Bastien joins us now. Congratulations. Sonora's had such a phenomenal season, and you won a couple really close games, and then you blew them out in the third. How proud are you of how you just played, and what were the keys to winning that match the way you did?
Yeah, I'm really happy to make the way continue for the team. Like now 6-0, I think is very good for the team. I think the key during this match, at the beginning I tried to play really strongly with my forehand, but the key was maybe to spin more this ball. and to find good location. And this was the key. When I can spin more the ball, he was more in difficulties.
And how much confidence do you now have with Coach Alex when he gave you after the timeout the service change to go no spin and it worked so well?
Yeah, actually, I was make side spin service. He make this banana, but it was not very difficult for me. Just I need to change the service where after the timeout. It worked and it's very good.
Bastian, as you wrap up your season, of course, you still have a Golden Game. Before September, you had never been to the United States before. What do you think of the season you've had and traveling to the U.S. so frequently this year?
Actually, it was really good experience for me to travel, but I didn't play so well as I wanted. At the beginning of the season, I was pretty good, but after my level was not. I expected more for myself. But actually, today I'm very good.
Well, you finished strong. There's no doubt about that. Congrats. We'll see you in the Golden Game. Thanks, Bastian. Time for doubles. Enzo and Hong pairing together.
2-0.
This could be the last time because the women's player has to play singles next year, so we don't know if the coach will play an all-male doubles team or perhaps they'll keep Enzo and Hong together. Who knows? Last time this season for sure. We'll see them out there at the same time, and it'll be Jinbao Ma and Lily Zhang competing on the other side of the table for the Blasters, trying to get Bay Area on the board here.
My guess is if the women must play singles, you'll see a lot of teams just automatically go for the men's doubles in the third match. But I will say that the Anglaise-Lin combo, their styles match up so well. Righty-lefty, shake hands, pen hold, looper smasher.
3-0.
Just a great combination there.
Is the ideal mixed doubles team one lefty, one righty, both attacking mentality players?
Really, every doubles team benefits from a righty-lefty combination, whether it's women's doubles, men's doubles, or mixed, just because the players don't have to move as much to play their forehand. They can kind of camp out on the backhand side, stay ready, loop, and then get back over into their backhand side. What I would say with Carolina is their styles just match up. It's just, Enzo during his interview said it's not for him to finish the ball, it's to set up his partner who has a forehand smash that's so strong, plus her short game is exceptional with the pips and the penhold grip. And there's the forehand smash. When she lands it, it doesn't matter who she's hitting it to, it's not coming back.
1 point lead for Jinbao Ma and Lily Zhang. Lily on her way to being a 4-time Olympian. Started when she was just a teenager. She's had an incredible career, and now...
Oh, look at that loop by Enzo Anglaise, just taking it down the line. Got some smiles from his teammate.
Yes, indeed. Lily Zhang, now she's 27. I mean, she's getting ready for her 4th Olympics, and she's getting the opportunity to play professionally in the U.S. for the first time. It's been an achievement of a lifetime.
So, I mean, I've always wanted to see a professional league in the U.S., and there have been, like, whisperings over the years, but nothing's ever really come to fruition. So I think when I first heard about it, my first reaction was like, that's impossible. Like, it's not going to happen because I've heard it so many times before. But then when I realized that it was actually going to become a thing, I was, you know, so excited, because who doesn't want to see the sport grow, and especially a sport that I've played and loved for so many years. I was so excited, and even more excited, I guess, to, you know, be a part of it, and hopefully more in the future.
Sean, I bet you wish this happened when you were 27 years old.
Oh yeah, no, it's been a game changer for U.S. table tennis
8-7.
for the kids, the clubs, the parents, and especially, just think about it, the entire women's Olympic team are all on teams in the Western Conference, so it's keeping them sharp, giving them opportunity from Lily's standpoint to stay a pro player, and then with Amy Wong for Texas, who we'll see in the finals, and Rachel Sung, who plays for Portland, it's a chance while they're in school to stay sharp. Oh, Enzo did a nice job of taking some spin off of that forehand opening, mixing up the timing. See him tossing up easily. Jinbao Ma unable to cover the ball.
That'll do it for game one. And the shutout continues. Carolina leads 7-0. There have been a bunch of close games. I feel like the match, the competition has been far more competitive than that scoreboard may show in terms of 7-0, but it is what it is. Has been a golden Sunday so far for the Carolina Gold
Second
Rush.
game, Gold Rush to serve.
7 straight games to the team in black.
Yes, like that.
Including an 11-7 win, game one here in the doubles.
Zero, 1.
There have been moments throughout the season, really for every team, that, you know, the dynamic of trust has been tested. The belief that each individual has in themselves and in their teammates, that gets tested over the course of the season. You remember Hong Lin had a rough golden game that cost her team, and she was literally in tears over it, and the support her team gave her allowed her to come back the next day and play at the typical high level that she played at all year long. I mean, everyone has had moments like that in matches, and particularly in golden games, which is such a cruel and unusual format, that it, you know, you don't have to play poorly for it to leave you wondering where it went wrong.
You know, I think we've seen it. I remember back in Daytona Beach, talking to Angela Guan after her first outing, thinking that she was the weakest link, and then how well she played yesterday to help get her team into the finals. It's just been that ebb and flow for, I think, every player at one point or another in this entire season.
3-3.
The beauty of table tennis is that once you're on a streak, at some point it has to end, and just turning it around is what the best players do.
Tron, do you remember as a young player how you kind of learned to handle the pressure of the big moments? Obviously, you know, you have to learn from failure and be able to adjust to failure to be able to improve and beat the best.
I think in my situation, I just had some truly outstanding coaches that when you did lose that national title or team match for the country, they just reminded you that those events are going to occur, and that in order to become a better player, you're going to have to go through them. But I think not having the fear of failure, at least in my case, was really the bottom line of, hey, if it's close, be wing. And here comes another shot behind the back by Enzo. He made contact. Nice redirection by the Blasters.
Did not work out like the other one.
Enzo, both in the first game and in this game, he's taken some pace off the ball that's really caused both Ma and Lily some timing issues.
Lily Zhang was the youngest player in the 2012 table tennis competition at the Olympics in London. And when you go through opportunities and challenges like that, you learn how to handle pressure. Lily's certainly done that throughout her career.
I think learning to handle pressure really just comes with experience. You know, I've had so many heartbreaking matches, especially in like close moments or when I'm leading, but I think what's important is getting up from that and learning from those experiences and trying to apply it the next time. So like for me personally, I tend to start thinking about results, especially when I'm up and I'm like, oh my God, just one more, and then I'll start playing like really safe and trying not to risk anything. But what helps for me is like kind of just like a whatever mentality, like just go for it. Like it doesn't matter, like you have to do it or you're gonna regret it in the future. So I just try to remind myself of that.
And I think Lily's advice is so spot on. The game is so fast, things can change on a dime, and you can't stay down on yourself any longer. And right now,
Game 2 to the Blasters,
they're on the board.
They are their first point in this third place match as Jinbao Ma and Lily Zhang take it with room to spare. 11-5 in Game 2, and an interesting rubber battle in the doubles coming up after this short 60-second break. Bay Area Blasters just won their first game of the day after Carolina had taken 7 straight. So we go into Game 3 of the doubles. That was a must-win game for the Blasters to have any chance of taking a lead into the Golden game. And so extending to the forehand side, unable to get it back on the table. It's certainly not likely that the Blasters win 8 straight to take the lead into the Golden game, but it's also not unfathomable or impossible.
It does give them a chance.
I think it's fair to say that they will not have the lead going into the Golden game if they don't take care of business here in the final game of the doubles.
0-3. Four, 0.
Enzo's going to have to do a lot more with that ball than just keep it in play. Jinbao Ma has such a big forehand. He's going to find the opening very difficult for Hong Lin to cover the entire table off of such a big swing.
5-0 lead for Lily and Jinbao. Lily, of course, her dad was a mathematics professor at Stanford, so she started playing table tennis in the campus laundry rooms while she was waiting for the laundry to be done. And over the course of her career, she blossomed into a great all-around player. And when she was in college, obviously you have opportunities to play table tennis, and a lot of people may not have realized what they were getting into when they challenged Lily to a game, and we'll let her take the story from there.
One of my favorite parts about college is like when the frat guys will come up and be like, I bet I could beat you, or they'll be all, macho, but then I'll play them, and my favorite thing is like absolutely destroying their egos.
You can imagine how a frat bro could get humbled pretty quick.
I would have thought at Berkeley, where she went to school, that her name was fairly well known, so that it wouldn't be such a surprise that an Olympian was kicking some. But from the male classmates.
Graduated with a degree in psychology in December of 2018, then turned pro, moving to Germany. She had already participated in 2 Olympics before she graduated from college.
And of course, she was a bronze medalist in the Youth Olympics. It was the first Youth Olympic medal Team USA had won, followed up by Canuck Jaw doing the same on the men's side 4 years.
Pardon my ignorance, Sean. Has there been a 4-time Olympian in U.S. table tennis before Lily? No, Lily's the first.
For table tennis, yes. And a six-time U.S. singles champion as well.
2-time U.S. Open champion, too. And, there hadn't been too many U.S.-born players to win that before she did.
Right, and luckily, her Olympic teammate, Amy Wong, has duplicated that the last 2 U.S. Opens. So Lily has set such a positive standard to let other young American ladies know that it is possible not just to be a U.S. champion, but to be a U.S. Open where the world comes to compete in the United States. So really a trailblazer, full-time pro athlete, great representative. I wouldn't be surprised if she gives even Los Angeles in 2028 a serious run.
Her home state.
Absolutely.
So the 31 turning 32 that summer,
and here's
2028.
As the host country, Team USA has an automatic berth in both the men's and women's team, which gives an extra slot.
Lily Zhang and Jinbao Ma takes down Enzo Angles and Hong Lin. Carolina took game 1, but the Bay Area Blasters, in pretty convincing fashion, rip away games 2 and 3, so we'll see if the momentum has indeed swung. We're going to chat with a commish Flint Lane during the 3rd singles match, which is coming up next. The soon-to-be four-time U.S. Olympian joins us now. Lily Zhang and her partner Jin Bao Ma just took 2 out of 3 over Enzo and Hong. Lily, congrats. Clearly your team needed it. Slow start for the Blasters today, and you guys had a slow start to that match. What changed in games 2 and 3 for you to win it?
Sure. I mean, it was a lot of pressure going in. I mean, being down 6-0 is always really hard to come in, and losing the first game as well, down 0-7. But I think, you know, it was important for us not to think about the score too much, and I was trying really hard to like pump myself up and Jinbao along, and I think we just try to play it point by point, and yeah, I'm happy we finally got on the board, and hopefully we can, you know, make a comeback still.
Were there any major adjustments in between games 1 and 2 during the break that you and Jinbao discussed?
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, Enzo and Li Hong are a really strong pair in doubles. You know, Enzo's forehand is really good. So I think what we tried to do was either, you know, play to his backhand or wide out to his forehand, because we knew his middle was really strong, and just to like also prepare for every ball because everything was coming back.
Now, Lily, I'm always asking you about your mindset going into the Golden Game. I'm going to jump past that and ask you, going into Paris, what are your goals for yourself and also for Team USA?
I mean, the dream is always to win a medal, right? And the U.S. has never won a medal in table tennis, so I think that we really do have a strong team this time. And, you know, our goal, as hard as it will be, is to win a medal in Paris.
Are those the Olympic rings on your necklace that we're looking at?
They are. They're from London 2012, but the 2 fell off.
Thanks, Lily.
Thank you, thank you.
You don't understand that necklace has been around for a while in the 2012 Olympics. That's cool.
It's seen some very strong opponents.
I bet. Kai John versus El Sayed Lachine in the 3rd singles match. Kai John was masterful against Nandan Naresh yesterday, a 3-0 sweep. El Sayed Lachine also won his match, taking 2 out of 3 over Matthew de Santillan, and it would have been 3 out of 3 if he'd won the golden point in game 1. We're going to enjoy watching this match. We're also going to enjoy a conversation with the commish. Flint Lane has popped the headset on. Flint, championship weekend. We are almost done with this first MLTT season. I imagine you have a ton of thoughts swirling in your mind about today, about the whole year. What stands out the most as you kind of reflect on this entire crazy year that you have just experienced?
You know, it's tough to imagine that just a little over a year ago, this was just a dream that we had to pull this off. And here we are at the finals in Chicago. We've got crazy good crowds, exceptional action, and it's been a lot of fun this year.
Flint, for those who haven't heard the story, give us the 45-second snapshot of how your passion for table tennis began, evolved, and the kernel of an idea for this league became a reality.
Yeah, so my background is actually in the software space. I ran a software company for about 20 years that got bought in December of 2022. I thought I was going to retire. That lasted about 3 weeks.
You drove your wife that crazy during that time?
Or the other way, perhaps. Hopefully she's not listening right now. Hi, Kathy, I love you. But I've always been a recreational table tennis player until about 12 years ago, and my wife Kathy bought me a ping pong lesson from this gentleman named David Zhuang, who's a 3-time Olympian, 6-time U.S. Nationals champion. So I show up at his basement, and I was good because I used to be the best player at the software company, and I was the fraternity champion.
And you taught him a few things.
So I show up, and I'm like, let's play. And he says, no, this is a lesson. I'm not going to play you. Like, what, are you kidding me? I'm like, no, I'm good. And I quickly realized that I had no idea what the definition of good truly meant. And in fact, that is our tagline in this league. Think you're good, because there are a lot of dummies like me who think they're good at table tennis. Until you see real table tennis, you have no idea what good is.
And what the story goes, he beat you 11-0, 11-0, and it wasn't that close?
That is true. If I could actually make contact with the ball, I felt good that day. I have since gotten better, and no, I'm still not good, but at least I know my level.
So, Flint, I've been thinking for the last week or so, what would be the best question that I could ask the commish. And really, it's more of a comment. I've been involved in table tennis for about, I'm going to say 45 years, and my first inkling was being at ping pong diplomacy in 1972 when the Chinese came. And then I was fortunate enough to play in the '88 Olympics. But I've got to say that this has been the biggest game changer. I mean, it's
7,
I don't want to get emotional.
6.
Wow. Sean, that means she means so much to me. One of the challenges in our country is kids who get into the sport, including yourself, could not dream about becoming a professional.
7,
the only dream you could have is, oh, I'm going to go live overseas and play in a league there. And my hope is that kids now who attend an event can look up to some of these athletes and say, I want to be one of those folks.
8,
and
7.
I think the start of that dream is coming to fruition in season 1. We've got more and more interest in the sport, more and more people getting into the sport. I know I own 2 table tennis clubs. They're
7,
busier,
9.
so I'm happy that we're having a small impact on the table tennis community.
It's more than small, and I think of the Daryl Sows and the Andrew Sow, and even what Lily and Amy and Rachel, what a difference you've made in their life.
Thank you for saying that. That really means a lot coming from you.
El Sayed Lachine has a game point here. Flynn, I'm hoping you'll stick around for game 2 because I want to ask you about your thoughts on the first season, your expectations and hopes for the future.
Let's.
We'll see if Kai John can fight off a few game points here. I know you enjoy watching everybody in the league. But who have been your top favorite players to watch? I'm sure you could name almost everybody, but does anyone stand up for their style, or who reminds you of you?
So none of them remind me of me. Like, that would be a bad look for any of these players. The commissioner likes everybody exactly equally. However, my favorite player is Benjamin Brassier.
Yeah, Forburn, you call him.
I call him Rugburn.
Rugburn.
So a lot of our international audience doesn't know what a Rugburn is. Should I stop?
Oh, you're good.
But he's known for diving all over the court, and it is quite sensational.
11-8 for Lachine in game 1. More with the commissioner, Flint Lane, after the 60-second break. So El Sayed Lachine has won the 3rd consecutive game for the Bay Area Blasters after Carolina took the first 7, so maybe we are seeing the makings of a crazy comeback. Time will certainly tell on that. Evan Lepler with the Hall of Famer Sean O'Neill and the Commissioner Flint Lane joining us as well. Flint, as you think back upon all the different weekends of the season, the excitement, the action, what about the first season has exceeded your expectations, and what are the things that you're still looking to sharpen, change, improve for season 2?
Yeah, so I think if we're going to be successful in the long term, we can never be satisfied with what we have. You know, there's a phrase called Kaizen, which is basically always trying to get better, 1% better all the time.
Did you say Kai Jong?
It's Kaijiang, yes. And that served me well in my business life, and it will serve us well in our table tennis business as well. So I think from an expectations perspective, just about everything is better than I had hoped. We struggled a little bit early on driving a crowd. You see We've figured that out by the end of the season. We are drawing much bigger crowds, but we also think we can do far better than this. So it's been a sensational year. The team has really come together. We've got a great culture at MLTT. The players are all very appreciative of what we're doing and what we're trying to do, but I think really the sky's the limit for us building a pro league here in America.
And do you see much variation with the Golden Game? That has been such a big success, keeping every match interesting and players building to get that lead. Any changes for Golden Game next season?
There are no anticipated changes for the Golden Game. There are a few changes that we have considered and are going to implement next year, the biggest of which is the female players will be playing singles, and that'll be mandatory. Right now, the female players are mostly playing doubles, which we don't think is a good look for the sport. We will have the ability for females to play against male players. That'll be a coach's decision when they set their rosters. That's probably the biggest decision. We're probably going to do instant replay. There are some close calls on things like edges and sides and nets and did it hit your shirt. So we're still finalizing the instant replay plan, but we will continue to think about what needs fixing. And right now, the Golden Game doesn't need fixing. It's one of the more exciting parts of Major League Table Tennis, and I think you'll see you've started to see other leagues copy our format now, and that's great. I think the more people who want to do exciting things in table tennis, the better.
3-7.
Got 2 more Golden Games left in our season. Third place will be decided between Carolina and the Blasters, and then later today the championship between Texas and Princeton. The team that has had the lead going into the Golden Game has literally won 80% of the time. And you may think a 1-0 lead is not a big deal, but even teams with a 1-0 lead going into the Golden Game have won 75% of the time. Is that too much? Does that need to be tweaked in any way? And I just had this idea earlier today, and I have no idea if it's a good idea, but I'm throwing it at you live. You say you're trailing going into the Golden Game, you get to pick first. I think that's shown to be a bit of a burden more than a blessing. And maybe if the team that was ahead going into the Golden Game had to pick first, that could change the dynamic of setting the matchups. And maybe you don't want to give an advantage to the team that's behind, but I do think it's staggering that teams with a 1-0 lead have won 21 out of 28 Golden Games. I'm just curious to get your thoughts on that as we see the numbers from one whole season.
So the math side of my brain says that's a statistical anomaly. That is not going to play out over the long term. It's just logically thinking, starting with a 1-point lead going to 21, you should not be winning 80% of the time. I think it is. There's a mental part of it. You feel like you're down a little bit.
5-9.
But my guess is that number is going to wind up being 60%. So I wouldn't want to make changes on just a small sample size of data. I also am hesitant to think, let's reward the team that didn't win enough singles and doubles games.
Right. That makes sense.
6-9.
The second ever MLTT draft is coming up next month. I think you foolishly allowed Sean and I to be involved in a sort of Mel Kiper Jr.-esque role. I don't know how that reference hits with the table tennis community, but game point here for Lachine. He'll take it. We'll get Flint's thoughts on the new players that are signed up to be in the draft and his other thoughts and expectations for game 2. We'll also get Flint's pick. I doubt he's going to give us one. We'll ask him who he thinks is going to prevail today between Texas and Princeton. Blasters have won 4 in a row. the Bay Area Blasters have made a move here, courtesy of Jim Ma and Lily Zhang in the doubles, and now El Sayed Lachine taking the first 2 games in the singles. Ready to watch game 3, and we're still here with the commissioner, Flint Lane. There's some key dates coming up even after the championship game today. In fact, tomorrow is when the returning players from season 1 who have signed contracts will be announced for season 2. And then the draft registration, which is still open, closes on Tuesday. So there is a last-minute possibility of some big names. What's it been like, Flint, talking to players from around the world who are interested in being involved in season 2? What are those conversations like?
So we have this unbelievable advantage that we've got the best advertising tool, which is our players. We have 64 players who are really enjoying MLTT, and they are spreading the word all around the world. We have 8 teams that will be drafting. It's probably going to be 25 spots that they'll draft for, and we've had roughly 250 people sign up for the draft already. Just this weekend, we had 10 players sign up for the draft, including 2 top 50 players, which I haven't told Sean about, and I bet he's dying to know. This week we announced...
You're not going to break that news now, I'm guessing?
I am not, no.
Had to ask.
3.
Well, in addition to the new players, well, I'll find out before the end of this trip, there's also a club program and also junior minor league. Can you talk a little bit about those to make sure the American fans are well aware of the other programs that MLTT is putting out there?
Yeah, so Sean, you've been around table tennis a very long time, and there's a few things broken about table tennis in America. One is we didn't have a pro league, so that was sort of step 1 for us. Step 2 was we don't really have a great grassroots program. You know, clubs are busy trying to run businesses, and it's kind of tough. And we thought, how can we help the clubs throughout the U.S., and why not roll the Major League Table Tennis format out and let them run that for their kids, for their adults, and run it as what we're calling minor league table tennis. We're trialing it out now, and we're having some great success. The people who are playing in it really are enjoying it. But why not let others do it? You know, we've got Little League in baseball, we've got Lightning or Cross, we've got youth soccer leagues, but table tennis is almost always an individual sport, and we know kids like having team interactions and have more fun with their team, so why not roll out a team-oriented version of Major League Table Tennis? So that's what we're in the middle of doing.
And officially, the draft will be on May 21st at noon Eastern. It'll be streamed online. There'll be a different level of production and different experience than the first draft.
Yeah, year 1 was a cobbled together Zoom where we had all 8 coaches on, and I would announce, Carolina, you're on the clock. So I was trying to simulate as much as I could a real live draft. It's not going to be in person like the NFL draft. I don't think we'll attract 250,000 people like they did to Detroit, but maybe someday.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
We already had the draft lottery was a couple weeks ago, and good news for the Florida Crocs. They earned the #1 pick.
Yeah, unlike the first year, we did a snake draft in the first year because there were nobody on any team. So if you picked first in the first round, you picked last in the second round, and that would repeat on and on. This year, we've slotted the 4 teams that didn't make the playoffs. They went into a lottery, and they have the 1st through 4th picks. And the last 4 teams that are in the playoffs will be slotted in based on how they finish. But that draft order will repeat in the 2nd and 3rd round, which is pretty customary for leagues after they've had their inaugural season.
Florida won the first pick in the 1st round and the 2nd round?
That is correct.
Okay.
7,
Every round.
6.
How did you do the lottery, if you don't mind me asking?
We had 2 levels of random algorithms that we ran against. The first was, how do we put the teams into a random algorithm? We randomized that. Then we had a website that did a randomization to do that. And it was all supervised by the coaches.
I knew there'd be some high-tech way you did this.
Very high-tech. I had to prevent our developer from wanting to write code to do this himself.
7.
We're coming to the nitty-gritty of this match. 7-all, Lachine and Zhang. We still have Taowen Zhang versus Roman Lawrence in the 4th singles spot. And then the penultimate golden game of our first MLTT season. Flint, any final thoughts that you want to share with the fans, with the worldwide table tennis community about what this experience has been like for you and what we should know for the future?
You know, the feedback from fans has been almost universally positive. You know, they love what we're doing for the sport. They're appreciative. They're supporting us. And we haven't convinced everybody. You know, I think the level of play is higher than people expected. The team version is better, but we also recognize we don't have it perfect, so we're always going to iterate and try to get better. So keep the good ideas coming from the fans. Thank them all for their support, because without them, we obviously don't have a lead.
I have always appreciated you are willing to listen to anyone's ideas.
Anyone's.
Which is impressive, because I've got some kooky ideas that I've thrown at you, and sometimes you rightfully put me in my place. But
you want to hear some kooky ideas? Talk to Jackson from the camera crew.
Really?
He's got some great restaurant ideas.
Jackson's smiling and nodding over there. There's Jackson.
I think the latest idea was we'll just serve a different thing every day, and we'll just call them food or drink.
Jackson's a crazy table tennis story, because he was a opening weekend in Daytona Beach, was just going to be involved that one weekend, a Florida guy, a local guy, and he's been to what, every event since?
So most people think Sonora was the first free agent signing, but that's not true. Jackson was the first free agent signing.
9.
Great stuff. Machine 1 point away from completing what would be a pretty satisfying sweep, Sean, for the Arab Lion.
We talked about the doubles, getting the 2 to stop that 8-point, and now the traditional thanking.
Well, it was 7-0, and now it's 7-5, and the intensity has gotten a little interesting. Flint Lane, thanks so much for everything. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the day.
Thanks, Evan. Thanks, Sean.
Yep.
Warm up.
It's always a pleasure to talk table tennis with El Sayed Lachine, who just swept Kai Jong 3 straight. Congrats on the win. Your Blasters are right back in this match after falling behind 7-0.
Yeah.
Before we get to the big picture thoughts from the season, what was the key to doing what you just did against Kai?
First of all, that my team said that he's very fast. So then I have 2 solutions. First is spinny, and second is power. Okay, because if you compete in his speed, he will be winner. So I choose that, and then always I make like fake spin. I take him with my body to forehand, and I play with my hand to backhand. This is something I like, and it succeeded with him.
You know, going into now the golden game, it's anyone's game, right? Both teams are going to be fighting so hard. What is going to be your mindset? Is it going to be see who the opponent is, play your game, or is it going to be more aggressive? How do you approach this golden game final for the season 1?
First of all, it's difficult to say that okay, I play normal game, because I don't know in the golden game who is I going to play. But if I play the same, I play the same game. If I play with the other one, okay, then I have to change the tactics, because it's not working with everybody.
El Sayed, you've participated in 3 different Olympics. You played table tennis for over 3 decades. You retired, quote unquote, from the national team in Egypt 6 years ago, and yet you just swept a match here at championship weekend. You've been a strong part of your MLTT franchise in this first season. What has this experience been like for you? How has it reinvigorated your love for the game?
First of all, I love to compete. I retire from the national team, it's okay, but I like to compete. And when I get this invitation to, they choose me to play in MLTT, I was surprised that America will make this MLTT. And then, really, everybody here helping too much. That's why I enjoy and want to continue more years for this.
How's the body and the arm feeling after the season?
It's terrible because I play here, Turkey and Egypt. So it's terrible, and especially this month because if it's a playoff in America, in Turkey, in Egypt also. So it's very difficult, but it's okay. I'm adapted.
This year it was you and Olajide representing Africa along with Ojo. Do you think there will be more African players trying to play MLTT in the future?
I think it will be much better. If a lot of Nigerian, Egyptian like this will be very good chance for them to compete in this high level. It will be very nice for them.
All right, we'll let you go watch this match and refresh for the Golden Game. We'll see you then. Thanks, El Sayed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Rasheen with a 3-0 sweep, and he's such an interesting guy. I couldn't stop chatting with him. Meanwhile, we got Roman Lorenz in front 4-2 here to start this final singles match.
Lorenz is bringing every ball back. Going into this match, I was really feeling that Tao Wen-jung would have a huge advantage just style-wise, but Lorenz, so dependable, always getting his attacks going, and again, makes the first attack and then just keeps going at it.
5-2.
Trying to change this momentum shift that's gone towards the blasters. Gold Rush would like to create some separation and make sure they are leading into the Golden Game.
We've
seen some comebacks this year, Sean, both in Golden Games and throughout the course of a match, but I cannot recall a team going up 7-0 and then falling behind 8-7. But that is certainly on the table right now, no pun intended.
3-6.
Just kidding, the pun was a little intended.
And that's Tao Wen-jung's trademark, that backhand over the table, quick off the bounce. Former US Open champion, played in the China Super League. Now based out of the Bay Area.
6-5.
Level table tennis, and Roman Lorenz hit so many good shots throughout that rally. He missed the easiest one. Easy for me to say, I know.
After 6 balls at maximum force coming in, needed one more step in order to get through the ball.
One of my favorite dynamics of this season, Sean, has been seeing Tao Wen-jung compete at times against
7-6.
a guy that he has helped train, Nikhil Kumar, who's gone on to be a U.S. national champion in large part because of the coaching he's gotten from Tao.
Right,
and to see them go head-to-head is pretty cool.
Exactly, and to qualify for Tokyo, Nikhil's still in the running for Paris, along with teammate Kanak Ja, who will be going to Lima next month to try to qualify for singles play in Paris. There will be no U.S. men's team at the Olympic Games, but of course our women will be represented by a number of very strong female players from the Western Conference.
I am very excited to watch you
7,
broadcast
8.
the Olympics this year. With that said, I'm just going to be constantly wondering, all right, I'm going to be texting you, Sean, when does the Golden Game happen?
I'll just have to remind myself not to say golden point when it goes to a 10-10 deuce game, since that was one of the other changes in the rules that was brought into play by MLTT, and the players, I think they've adopted well, but also it's made them better players, knowing that here's a point where you must win it. It's not a 10-9 that you can deuce it up, but it's all or nothing.
Tao has swung this opening game around.
Oh, great recovery there by Lorenz.
9-8.
Tao had the ball on his rack with the backhand out to the forehand. Somehow, Lorenz ran it down and kept it in play. What a great serve return by Lorenz. Dropped it so short over the net. Caused a pop-up, got his forehand into play.
Nine all here in game one. Lorenz winning both points on Tao's serve last two times. Tao wins it on Roman's serve, and Tao and Zhang with the first game point. Ten all.
10 all.
Third golden point of the match. Carolina won the first two. Enzo over Jinbao Ma in their second game. Bastion DuPont over Sonora Silva in the first game of the second singles. And now Tao and Zhang and Roman Lorenz. The returners had the advantage recently. But not this time. Roman sends it long, and Tao and Zhang has made it 7-6 on the team tally. Hard to fathom because it was 7-0 not all that long ago. MLTT.com will have all the upcoming information about who's back for season 2.
Second game, gold rush to serve.
In the draft pool. I was pretty astonished to hear that they're expecting to have about 25 slots available, and they've had over 200 people sign up for the draft. Those are not great odds to get into the league.
Well, it puts so much pressure on the 3-4 players, or even the players that were kind of on the bubble for the teams at the 5, 6, 7, 8 slots. To see a 1-2 player might get shoved down to the 3-4.
Last serve.
It's going to just continue to make the depth and the prestige of this league continue to grow. Oh, what a reloop by Tao and Zhang. Lorenz had the perfect ball to put away, and he did, just came back faster. Evan, you mentioned it earlier. We were watching some of the matches yesterday that it wasn't necessarily one player was playing bad, both players were playing well, and that's exactly what's going on here. Lorenz has stepped up his game. Taowen Zhang is just taking it to another level.
Two, three.
Hot off the presses, we've gotten the lineups for the championship match. Those were just decided. And I'm going to read them to you, Sean, and get your off-the-cuff reaction. The Princeton, Texas championship match. First singles will be Jishan Liang and Hiramitsu Kasahara.
Even up pick 'em. Tough to say.
2-1 toss-up.
2-1.
Second singles.
4,
Koyo
3.
Kanemitsu versus Nandan Naresh.
Slight edge to Koyo, but Nandan, the way he's playing, he gets the first game, all bets are off.
No surprise in the doubles. It'll be Jishan and Angela against Hiro and Amy. Hiro and Amy have been playing great.
I would say a 2-1 for Hiro and Amy, but that being said, it's such a difficult team to play against with Jishan with the big forehand and Angela with the chopping, that if they can win one of the first 2 games, they still have a chance to take the 2.
4, 5.
Third singles. Matthew de Santillan versus Johan Rebete. Means no Yevgen Prishepa for the second straight day for Princeton.
Rebete played so well yesterday, but it's a different style. The style of a chopper who can bring some offense. I'm going to say it's a 0-3, 2-1, or 3-0. I think it can go any single way. It really depends on how Rebete feels against that type of defense with offensive spiciness to it.
6, 5.
And then the final singles match, Jinxian Wang versus Dave Macbeth. And that's a popcorn match.
Yeah, I would say that be very, very surprised if it is a sweep on either side. Slide edge, Macbeth, the way he played, both in the golden
7,
game
5.
and in singles yesterday sweeping.
Gold rush warning. For throwing the racket.
Gold rush warning for throwing the racket after this point. Elmon letting some frustration out.
Look at that backhand, but that's what Tao is known
5,
for. That
8.
Off the bounce, very little backswing, and just finding the open court, especially down the line.
Taowen Zhang with authority.
9, 5.
Setting up with that backhand once again down the line and playing inside out on the forehand. 2 points away from evening up this match at 7 apiece. Oh, that was a nice jamming push
9, 6.
by Lorenz.
Biggest surprise for
7,
me with this lineup,
9.
Princeton and Texas coming up, is the fact that we're not seeing Yevgen Prishepa. He went 14-7 in singles since January in 2024. And for the season, he's 32-22, 10 games above 500. The fact that we're not going to see him back-to-back days, and look,
7,
maybe he's
10.
sick, maybe he's hurt, maybe DeSantillan's been beating him. I'm just surprised to see that. Taowen Zhang with another game point to tie up this match at 7 games apiece.
He took a full swing on that
8.
last one. He's got 2 serves, but this is one strong forehand that missed.
With that said, I'm very excited to get to watch Matthew DeSantolan play again because he's one of the most exciting players in the league.
You can count on the number of balls coming back.
10-9. Timeout.
Tian just
Blasters.
stood up, and she is taking a timeout. 2 straight points for Roman Lorenz to get it from 10-7 to 10-9.
想好这个发球啊。OK。
If you can start with that hand, you can make it 1-2. Don't go fast to this shot. If you keep lower, it's okay. And also winning. If it's 10 times, be ready for return. You return serve short and start.
不行，补一个发一个下旋这种死转的往反手这边。想好，想好啊，想好啊，想好啊。Come on, come on, come on， 准备后边的球啊 ！Come on, come on。
Time. Nine.
Big serve here for Taowen Zhang. Try to avoid a golden point on Roman's serve. The Bay Area Blasters were down 7-0 just about an hour ago. And now here we are in the 3rd place match, even 7 points apiece. And the Blasters have a chance to take a lead heading into the Golden Game if Tao can complete the sweep. That's coming up next. Well, this season has certainly taken plenty of surprising twists and turns.
Blaster to serve, 0-0.
It is certainly appropriate for Championship Sunday to start with an unexpected
1-0
journey as well. Carolina in the first 7 games looked like it was going to be a rout. And now Taowen Zhang with an opportunity to put the Blasters in front going into their final Golden Game of the season.
And I was thinking that the chance for the Gold Rush to maybe start up 10-0 or whatever the differential would be. And now it's looking to be just the opposite with Bay Area.
1-2.
Adam Bobrow just caught that foul ball angling into the stands. That was impressive. International voice of table tennis, dazzling the fans with his snake shot exhibitions in between matches.
2-2.
The colors on his shirt are also blinding, so it's hard to play against him without being distracted by that. Adam, a great ambassador for the game. Awesome to see him each week throughout the season, more or less. I say more or less because he missed a weekend and I missed a couple weekends. Not that seeing him was sometimes not great. Always great to see him. 3-3 here in game 3.
3-4.
What would you advise Roman Lorenz to try to steal a point here, which would be a massive point for his team if he could get it?
There's really not much more that he's out there fighting every single point. I think maybe to attack more balls to the forehand side, but then you've got to worry about the big swing from Tao and Zhang. But going into the back hit really puts Roman off the table. He's going to find a weak spot or a hole in the defense. It's going to be on the forehand side. Good job of extending that rally and
5-4.
just hanging in for Tao to finally make the mistake as we change ends at 5. That's a wonderful third ball attack by Tao and Zhang.
Gold rush serves.
Set it up nicely. Wasn't that high of a return, but able to step around the backhand for the powerful forehand. Oh, Lorenz got away with
6-5.
a off the table return. Just keeping it in play, moving the ball around, keeping it deep. Oh,
that's the angle.
Yep.
Into the body.
Into the body, a little misdirection, but it all started with that first loop from the backhand corner. Kept an eye on Tao as Lorenz lifts up the first one, continues with the forward drive, then here comes the misdirection to the backhand.
And just kept pounding away at the backhand. Smart.
Tao not giving Lorenz anything to work with. Serving it very short off the side of the table. Forcing him, if he does want to play a forehand, to give up the entire forehand side. Oh, and a very aggressive over-the-table flip, and we're tied up once again.
7-all.
Aggressive serve.
This is such a huge point in terms of building the lead going into the Golden Game. We have emphasized countless times how critical that is. Team leading going into the Golden Game is 34-4 since the start of 2024. And the first match of 2024 was a comeback. So it's really 34-3 in the last 37.
We've talked about Lorenz, his ability, even when he loses the first two, to win and take one game for his team.
It's been huge throughout the season for Carolina. There's no doubt about it. One of the reasons they were the best team in the league. They just kept on winning Golden Games. They put themselves in position to win Golden Games.
Staying away from sweeps.
Spot on. And a 10-8 lead now for Roman Lorenz, the Frenchman.
With the serve.
Then 8.
That'll do it. Lawrence, bit of a sarcastic cheer. He's pretty frustrated with the results of the weekend personally, but he'll finish by taking a game against Tao and Zhang, and that snaps the Blasters' 7-game winning streak. So Carolina will take the lead heading into the Golden Game. Third place on the line here between Carolina and the Bay Area Blasters. Enzo Angles, a 3-0 sweep over Jinbao Ma, and then Bastien Dupont with an impressive 3-0 scorcher sweep over Sonora Silva. Carolina took the first game in doubles and led this match 7-0, and then everything flipped, Sean O'Neill. The Blasters seized control with Lily and Jinbao in the doubles, and then El Sayed continued in the singles to bring the Blasters back.
And it was only Roman Lorenz's final game to give the Gold Rush that 1-point critical lead, and now we're gonna go down and hear Flint.
Tao and Zhang took games 1 and 2, very tight games. Roman was playing at a high level, but Roman able to get game 3. So the Gold Rush will have the 8-7 lead as we head into this final Golden Game of the season for these two teams. One more opportunity to feel the pressure of the Golden Game. Let's find out the order for this Golden Game.
Okay, we've got Carolina Gold Rush is ahead 8-7. You'll be starting with a 1-point lead. Since you're trailing, you'll be picking the first player. Wenjing Tao is your number 1. Coach?
Kai Zhang.
Kai Zhang is your number 1. Your number 2.
Enzo.
Enzo Angles is your 2.
Jinbao Ma.
Jinbao Ma is your 2, and your 3? Sonora Silva is your 3.
Dupont.
Bastien Dupont is your 3, and your 4?
Kai.
You already picked Kai.
Oh, Roman.
Roman Lawrence is your 4.
Lachine.
El Sayed Lachine is your 4, making Lily Zhang your 5, making Hong Lin your 5. Good luck, coaches.
Well, there's certainly some intrigue with how this shook out. We get Tao against Kai Zhang. Enzo versus Jinbao Ma's a rematch, as is Dupont and Silva. But Lachine versus Lawrence is a little bit of a different flavor than what we've gotten. And then Lily versus Hong Lin, 2 accomplished female stars. Very well could decide this thing.
And I love that Coach Alex Yang went for the Kai in 2 positions. Good try. Good Kai.
All righty, the Golden Game has been an iconic innovation this year. The penultimate Golden Game of the MLTT season underway. Kai Zhang rips a winner.
2-0.
Kai said he was going to play a little safer in the Golden Game, but he's thrown those tactics out the window with 2 very strong attacks, and he has 1 more serve. He went for broke on all 3 points, and got 2 of them.
For a split second, I thought that last ball might have caught the
Yeah,
end.
it looked like it was going to make it.
But it did not. Blasters on the board. 2 of the 3 for Zhang, and now Jinbao Ma and Enzo Angles will play 4. Ma has the serve first. Enzo won 3 straight games over Jinbao Ma in singles, but the Golden Game, as we've discussed many times, a different beast.
Let's.
Swing and a miss from Jinbao Ma.
4-2.
And Enzo just really cut the side of that ball, keeping it short, not putting much depth on it. Great footwork, great ball position by Enzo. Once he got the first loop in, just took his time, kept the pressure on the backhand side.
Angles lost the first point, but claims the next 3, and Carolina has the 4-point lead as Bastien Dupont takes the table. He had success against Sonora.
Interesting to see if Sonora can get his mindset. You saw how he finished off the game. A couple of net balls and edge balls went against him in singles.
DuPont continues to have his way in the big points with Sonora.
Oh, beautiful third ball attack on the backhand side by Silva. Set it up perfectly, no hesitation, going for the winner.
Silva's won 2 in a row. Sean, you know, one other nugget working in Carolina's favor, perhaps. So, the Bay Area Blasters are the only team in the league that does not have a Golden Game win coming from behind. Every other team has at least one. DuPont earns the split, preserves the 4-point lead. Roman Lorenz, fresh off his victory in the 3rd game of the singles match with Tao and Zhang to give Carolina the lead going into the Golden Game. Returns to the table with a little confidence, you'd think.
But this is a new matchup.
Lachine was marvelous in his singles match, and he paints the edge. Cross-court brilliance from Lachine.
Such a heavy topspin opening by Lachine, just lifts it right up, and look at the angle. Cross-court, well placed.
Blasters within 2. Three straight for El Sayed Lachine.
Looping over the table from the backhand corner. Lachine finds the inside out.
Lorenz able to ward off the golden sweep and keep Carolina in front barely.
Now the ladies will take the table. Lily loves to play up-tempo. Hong Lin likes to take pace off the ball when she's blocking, but she tries to set up her forehand smash.
Blasters back within 1. Lily Zhang has had her struggles in the Golden Game throughout this season, but 2 straight points here against Hong Lin have tied this Golden Game up 9-all. Bay Area leads for the first time in this match.
In the battle of the backhands, it's been all Lily Zhang. Just constant pressure, not giving Hong Lin a chance to get her forehand into play.
Hong Lin won 59% of her Golden Game points during the season. She's lost 3 straight. And it's not going to be a golden sweep. We're tied 10-all. What a battle that was. Hong Lin gets an important point there to bring Kai Zhang back to the table in a 10-10 game. This would be the matchup if it was 20-20, 20 points from now. Oh, goodness! Kai Zhang unleashing the fury.
That ball caught a slight edge of Kai's paddle. That's why it was such a rocket ship going right down the middle of the table.
What a return.
How did Kai Zhang cut that ball? It was a deep serve, and he dropped it back short.
Kao and Zhang fuming after that, that he wasn't able to get a paddle back on it. And Tao counter on the return. Deep serve from Zhang wins him the point.
Potential for the biggest sweep for Kai Zhang in a Golden Game.
And he's won 5 of the 6 points so far against Tao that he's played. 1 more in this 4-point sequence. Into the net. Tao avoids the sweep. The 13-11 lead. Here comes the final 4 points of the season for the MVP, Enzo Angles, against top 10 player in the league for the Bay Area Blasters, Jinbao Ma. Enzo won 3 out of 4 earlier this game. Jinbao Ma still has some firepower in that paddle.
Nothing more that he would like than to even this up or possibly put the Bay Area Blasters ahead for the first time.
Bay Area within 1. But Enzo keeps Carolina in front. Confident cuts from the league's #1. Wow. Can you believe that? I'll be honest, Sean, I was a little surprised that Enzo didn't go more aggressive with the 3rd ball attack. Felt like it let Jinbao back into the rally.
Yeah, and Jinbao has been making his forehand count here in the Golden Game.
And this time, Jinbao Ma takes 3 out of 4 and ties this thing back up 14-all. So Enzo and Jinbao are done. They are spectators. Sonura and Bastion return. Bastion DuPont has had one incredible day.
Just constantly getting his forehand in from the offensive stature. What a great backhand down the line, mixing it up, keeping Silva on his back foot, and now DuPont with 2 serves after taking the first 2 points.
row for DuPont.
Timeout, Blasters.
And a timeout taken by the Blasters.
Everything now, first the ball, second ball, give you a forehand. So either you go forward and counter back or just blocking back because all the ball on your forehand is edge. You need to be ready for that. Okay, just be ready and confident. Play. Spin, yeah, spin. You don't need a power, but just trying to spin. Okay? Go, no pressure, no pressure. Let's go, come on.
17-14, Gold Rush.
DuPont looking for the golden sweep in the final golden game of the year for the Gold Rush. But Silva able to get that last point, and it could be a big one with Lachine versus Lawrence coming up. Now, Lachine won 3 out of 4 earlier. If he were to do that again, we'd be tied 18-all with Zhang and Lin returning to the table. Roman Lawrence could close it out with his own sweep. He's not going to close it out. Getting closer to the business end of this golden game. Blasters back within 1. Lachine ties it up. What a weekend it's been for this 44-year-old table tennis icon. Al-Sayed Lachine, 17-all. Blasters back on top.
Timeout, Gold Rush.
On the miss hit from Roman Lawrence. And a quick timeout taken by Carolina.
The back and forth between these two teams have just been incredible.
Same serve, short, forehand, then get open. Same, just keep. Ah.
If the Blasters could close it out, it would be the first time all year in 24 team matches that the Blasters were behind at the start of the golden game and came back to win it. "17 serving 18 in a game to 21. Missed it. Golden sweep for Al-Sayed Lachine. Lawrence spikes his paddle in frustration, drawing yellow cards from both umpires. Wow. Lachine delivers for the Bay Area Blasters, and he puts Lily Zhang in position to close it out, just 2 points away. And a swing and a miss from Lily. And remember that miss, as Carolina certainly capable of turning this back around in their favor. Huge point here on Lily's serve. Zhang gets it right back and creates game point for the Blasters.
Look for Lily to play offensive.
Okay.
Hong Lin needs to win both points on her serve to get it to the ultimate golden point. But she will not get there. Lily Zhang and the Bay Area Blasters with an epic comeback in the third place game. And the Bay Area Blasters take it 21-18, an improbable comeback. And a thrilling way to begin this championship Sunday here in Chicago. El Sayed Lachine and Lily Jong were certainly the MVPs of the Golden Game for the Blasters. Lachine won 7 out of 8 against Roman Lawrence. Lachine won 3 straight games over Kai Jong. And the Blasters finish in 3rd place. The Carolina Gold Rush, the best team in the league all season long. But they lose back-to-back matches here at championship weekend, and a disappointing 4th place finish for Enzo and the rest of the Gold Rush.
And the theme of just never giving up. Bay Area Blasters looked completely out of it multiple times, whether it was in the Golden Game or starting down 0-7 in individual games. Kept fighting, got the job done.
Bay Area is the 3rd place finisher, but the real showstopper is coming up still. But 27 minutes from now, we'll be back for the Princeton Revolution and the Texas Smash squaring off in the first Major League Table Tennis Championship match. Hope you'll join us then. I imagine you will. It's going to be an unbelievable battle between 2 great teams that are peaking at the right time. What a comeback by the Bay Area Blasters. A reminder that in this team format, you just never know. Momentum can swing quick. We've seen so many exhilarating moments throughout the season, and this 3rd place match, certainly a memory that we won't soon forget. But we got Princeton and Texas coming up at the top of the hour. We will talk to you then. For our entire broadcast crew and my partner, the Hall of Famer Sean O'Neill, Evan Lepler saying so long for now. Bay Area Blasters, 3rd place in Major League Table Tennis. Princeton, Texas for the title coming up.